look up Sanji for Kids dub. Just do me a favor, look it up. It's
Okay,
so
and we are
freaking
live.
bad.
Here we go. That was
Hi,
difficult.
everybody.
Not that we have anybody up in here besides ourselves, but that's kind of the point. We are now live with Anime Discussion with friends. And now we have to check on that the audio is actually playing from you guys as well to the thingy, as I've noticed that you have to do. So we go here in the mic. Oh, no, that's the wrong button. That one. And I have to use my phone to do that, but we are definitely live.
Have you guys been watching Blue Lock?
Blue Lock?
Yeah.
Can't say that I have.
It's a soccer anime, but hear me out. It's like a mixture of soccer and
And
Squid
audio is
Games.
good. A little bit latency,
If
but keep going.
they
Blue Lock.
if they lose, they get kicked out of the soccer building, but they're not allowed to play soccer ever again after that. If they win, they become the best soccer player in the country and can go on to face the world and whatnot. But it's this whole thing of all these people trying to be best soccer player, and they're literally like fighting for their lives because their whole dream is to become the best soccer player. And if they're forced to never be able to play again, it's kind of like dying. So like it's literally like a spy or like a Spy Family. I'm looking at the fucking show right now and I see Spy Family next to it. But it's
I've been meaning to
literally
watch Blue
like a
Lock.
Squid Game thing. It's really neat. Try watching it. You'll be happy. It's
Have you
also
watched
got some
Ice
awesome
Shield
music.
21?
Wait, what? 21?
Ice Shield 21.
Ice Field? No,
Ice Shield.
I've not.
It tells story about Senna, who's been bullied a lot, and he becomes an American football player, and Ice Shield 21, and it's quite old to be honest. There should be dub and sub versions of it, and you should definitely check out. It's one of the hidden gems that a lot of people don't even acknowledge or talk about. And it's just American football, and it's very much like these new sports animes, and it does have like how many episodes? Well, it was like 150 episodes. Um, I Shield. Shield. God damn
I'm
it.
looking for it, but
21.
it's definitely not on Crunchyroll at least.
It's
I'll
on
have to look
Crunchyroll
elsewhere
from
for it.
me and Finland, but as we know, the region lock and the differences between these animes and how they broadcast them, it is vastly different from, thingies. But definitely, even if you have to go to another website to watch it, definitely watch iShield 21 if you like sports anime, right?
Yeah, I'll try watching it because I have ended up liking sports anime. I don't know why. It's just so much better than fucking regular TV. Like I watched Haikyuu and Kuroko's basketball already. So I don't know. I think it's kind of neat. It's fun.
And that's the point. Like they are fun and enjoyable, right? And I need to still
Yeah.
finish that the Haikyuu one, and then I finished Ahiru no Sora, I think it was one of the other basketball ones that was inspired by Slam Dunk, and I still need to finish Slam Dunk as well. It has a lot of episodes though, and then there's a lot more than that too. Kurokono's basketball, I've watched that like 3 times. I need to watch the movie as well, I think. I mean, a lot of these animes pop
Yeah, I think
up
I
when
watched
you
the
just
movie one.
search iShield 21, because it's one of the OGs. It really is. Zoro knows the way. That One Piece
Sorry.
guy on TikTok, we have him here. That's who you heard just now. And then we also have Hateful up in here.
I'm not here. Don't put my government name out like that.
I am currently posting that. Oh, no, 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 no. Ow. Stop it. Stop that. Cancel.
Sorry, folks. We are experiencing technical difficulties at this time.
We are, but on TikTok on my phone. And we do have a lot of topics up in here. I just put on the screen so everybody can hear us. And I did ignore put in the, like showing myself on it because we can do that later on. I just wanted to get out how this works, and it's pretty straightforward as long as I keep that voice recording so it plays from the PC and captures the PC audio, which means I better keep my search engine safe or people will hear that. Ha ha ha. Funny joke. Anyway, we got Gojo. Solo leveling is coming up. We got Makima. We got the big three with, Luffy, Ichigo, Naruto, and Goku. We got Diablo right here. We even got Zoro from One Piece and Broly are the pictures I'm showing in the stream right now. And we can always change those depending on what we speak about. I can go around, download a picture, and put it up on the stream so people know, like, this is kind of what we're talking about, right? And I'm currently making this TikTok while I'm tagging you guys in it. Ask quests, and I'm about to finish that. But you guys were talking about Blue Lock?
I don't know if I can watch the TikTok, or I don't know if you're streaming on TikTok or YouTube, but I don't know if I can watch that.
We are being broadcasted into YouTube at the very moment. It's live and it'll record. It's a little bit late towards what we are speaking about, but it is live at the very current moment, and I'm posting into TikTok. So as the I'm posting a video, and you're more than welcome to share it. That way, you can let your friends know, like, I'm doing this with this guy right here. And here we go. Ask quest. We need to add another S to the end. No, not duration. Edit. And S at the end. Ask quests. We have that One Piece guy and Hateful Fate. You are tagged in the video. Next. And I'm also. Well, I don't need to tag you anymore, do I? This is live on YouTube. Doink. And post. And I'll share that on your TikTok. You guys using the phones to join the Discord, or how are you doing that?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Ditto.
I'm on what? I'm on PC. I mean, I have to be on the PC to be able to broadcast it really easily. I mean, you can do that with the phone as well, the YouTube, but you don't, like on TikTok, we have all these, you can put the picture background to show like what you're talking about, whatever nonsense you're making with the anime content, right? So you can't do that with the YouTube live with the phone, as you can do it as well. You can do it on TikTok, and it's kind of, not so great. But yeah, Discord will cut off if you use the TikTok on your phones or something. As far as I have my knowledge.
Yeah, if I try to go to Discord or TikTok right now, it's gonna dumb my mic down so much volume-wise, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it just basically cuts off. But we have been live for almost 10 minutes in a second. And Hateful had this idea that we'll speak about actual isekai animes, but we will first gather the intel, of course, like Skeleton Knight in Another World, and specifically about isekai anime that's another world. It doesn't matter if it's a game world or whatever, but your own words. How about that, Hateful?
Yeah. Little warning though for Skeleton Knight. The beginning episode does cover relative sensitive information. The anime itself gives you the warning for it, but I just want to warn anyone else who wants to go watch it. It is a really good anime, but the first episode has a scene that doesn't actually cover SA, but is very, very close to it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, it's not as bad as Goblin Slayer, though. Not even close.
Yeah. In this case, dude, man actually comes in and saves the day before anything happens.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, this viewer discretion is advised. Definitely. And don't let your kids watch that, to be honest. I mean, you can if that's
Sure.
acceptable to you, but at the same time.
Right. All anime should be viewed by parents first before they let their kids watch it, because
Absolutely.
not all anime.
Right,
mean,
you got people freaking recommending One Piece to 5-year-olds, and then they get the freaking Marineford Ace dies, and like, oh god, gotta look at the whole anime before you let them go off with it.
Well, I mean, with all due respect, you got people that die in Disney movies for crying out loud. So death scenes aren't necessarily means it's not for children, but there are definitely some scenes with Nami that I would
And what
suggest.
about Thriller Bark?
That's one of my favorite arcs.
Oh, it's one of my favorite arcs too, but really, you're gonna tell me that's okay for children?
Nah.
Better than Bulma's panty scene in OG Dragon Ball. Why do I want to see a 30-year-old panty?
Master Roshi, the master of all perverts. Not really.
Right.
I mean, you got Jiraiya in Naruto, you got Brook and Sanji in One Piece, you got Master Roshi in Dragon Ball. On Bleach, you got.
Okay, well, first off. Jiraiya, yes, he is pervy thing. However, like Jiraiya lusts after one person and one person only. In reality, he always wants Tsunade. Now, is he going to pass up the opportunity to see some other women? No. But Master Roshi has no preference. Any woman he lusts after, something fierce. Very much like Sanji. Sanji is the young man equivalent of Master Roshi.
I don't like
Can't deny
Sanji.
that. Can't deny that.
I have stated that Sanji is the weak link of the Straw Hat community, or the Straw Hat crew, I mean.
Yeah, I guess. But Brook's always like, may I see your panties? Like, he does that every time. To every new girl that comes up, like, may I see your pants? Yo ho ho.
But see, here's the thing. Brook's still a gentleman. He still asks politely. Now, he gives it up to the women whether they say yes or no. Master Roshi just gets nosebleeds and immediately just wants to start envisioning them naked.
Yeah. And Janji just invades your personal space while having heart-shaped arch bouncing out of his head and, bleeding from his nose.
Yeah, look at Sanji, though. The first woman that gave him attention, what was it? Was it in Dressrosa?
Pudding?
No, not Pudding. I think it was Dressrosa.
The Princess V.
The one that has the eye fruit or like that, so you can see into futures or some weird thing like that.
Yeah.
It's the princess from Dressrosa who is her Viola. The second daughter of Riku family, funny, funny. Riku family. That's my name. It's my family.
Right, right.
Hell
So
Yeah, Princess of Dressrosa, Viola, the second daughter, apparently. Yep, that's her. You know, the dot dress and the all that. That's not described, but I can actually pull up her picture right here into the stream, cause why not? Dressrosa, One Piece, Viola. Then we type in art because always type in art. Okay, and there we go. We got a great picture right here. I actually have two pictures right here. I'm gonna grab that, save, grab that, and oh, whoops, clickety click click. You save this. But you were saying, making a
when
point,
people
right?
say when people say, "Oh, who would betray the Straw Hats faster?" It's Sanji, and it's not even close.
Who's faster?
Who would betray the Straw Hats faster?
Sanji or Usopp?
I would honestly go with Sanji. Usopp, I think, is too loyal.
Uh, I don't know about that.
A lot of people hate Usopp though for what he did with the
Oh
Going Merry situation.
He just
He didn't do anything wrong.
I understand that Luffy did not go about that right at all himself, but
Right. And
that's
if
his
you actually watch it,
captain, and he
if you
kept
actually
back talking him over and over again, completely ignoring it. Like he wouldn't stop and listen at all to what was happening. And after he didn't get to be the captain, he just left.
Mm.
I know he cared about the boat, but that doesn't mean that he should have, for instance, kept the Mary's soul from them. If she mattered that much, like he should have said more. They should have done more. But in particular, I think Usopp fucked up more.
they did both fuck up.
I don't know if I'm cutting out or if he is, but you're very quiet.
I probably am. Hold on a second. I'll fix it in a minute. Let's see if I can't do this.
Do 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 do. Do
All right.
do 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 do. Welcome back.
Yeah, but can you hear me better now?
I just
Yeah.
snuck up to get coffee. So, waifu material rating for Viola One Piece, right? Dressrosa. Like
Oh, I have
no idea, no interest, or
no
just
idea.
no
I don't
opinion.
remember a damn thing about
There
her.
is only one waifu that I consider a waifu in One Piece.
Ah, who's that?
Boa.
Boa Hancock.
Fuck you.
A lot of people don't like her. People think she's the
They don't have class.
picture stand force of misogynistic, sexist, and think she's a cold-blooded murderer, and you know, the B
Yeah,
word.
makes her hot.
That makes her hot, he says. I mean, if you
Boa.
legit watch One Piece and you watch even the filler ones and whatnot, and you actually listen to it, Boa herself states that she must keep this act, even if she doesn't believe what she used to believe because Luffy inspired her to be a better person. She literally states that she must keep this act for the world government, so her clan stays safe. It's in the anime. It is. Sue me. Go research it. It's right there. Like, if you actually watch it, you know it's right there. She states that in her own mind. However you want to take that shit, you want to hate Boa Hancock, that's just fine with me. But you can't, disapprove like anime like that. Like, for example, the epitome of, people saying Goku and Vegeta are not planetary, and we got that scene, which we can pull up right there, like it's stated in the anime. But enough about that, right? Like, it's there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go look it up. Watch the anime. Might as well pull up.
Watch
Yeah, I just don't like the people that get all up on the Nami train. Like, oh, it's always Nami, 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 Nami. It's like, no. And then like the people I don't like, or it's not that I don't like them. It's people I don't get are the ones that, ooh, Robin's my favorite waifu from One Piece, and I'm like, Robin, like the plain Jane. Like I can
because
see how
she's
they like the
reserved and intelligent and passive. It's I don't know.
You know what really
it's
gets me with Boa though?
understandable. She's the first actual proper AIDS woman that came into the screen, like legit. In that sense, like, well,
But
not the
you,
first one. There are other ones, but at the same time, she's like the first one that we actually get to explore.
well, you know what really solidifies Boa for me?
Huh?
I said, do you know what solidifies Boa for me as the number one waifu of One Piece?
I will
It,
know in
What?
a few seconds.
it it's her loyalty. If you mess with who she considers her man, which is Luffy, the first and only person she's ever actually considered, she will freaking rush headfirst into battle. Zero F given.
Facts.
And like Nami won't do that. Robin won't do that. Nami bounced around between people. So did Robin. Like up until like okay, Robin's character did change when she met the Straw Hats, but before she met the Straw Hats, she was basically a warrior for hire in a sense. You know,
A spy for hire, even more accurate.
right?
Yeah.
And Nami was just a thief for hire.
Yeah, that's very
Well,
valid.
Robin had a bit of a backstory, though.
Right, like I understand it's all
Mhm.
part of the character backstory and whatnot, but you got to realize that character backstories don't change the character. Like that's their backstory. You can't
It
change the
defines the
backstory.
character as they are
The
right
character's
now before they
backstory
change.
explains why they are where they are, which can make it less boring, though.
Oh no, 100%. Character development is huge. Without it, you just get the same bland characters as always. Goku. But when you add in character development, you get the changes that like you would get in Vegeta. You know,
Vegeta
if it
has
wasn't
come
for
far.
He changed a lot
oh yeah, 100%.
in a very short amount of time, too, believe it or not. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Well, Vegeta's been the way he has been for like 20 plus years, and then in the span of well, now the span of probably about 20 years, he has changed.
Dude, he's turned around pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Even his pride has been altered.
Right?
Which Vegeta no longer just has pride in himself or, the race that he comes from. He has pride in his other soldiers as well.
Yeah, he's even stated in the Tournament of Power between the universes that he gave away his whatever you call it. Now I forget what you're saying the name of it, but he gave away his pride. He gave Goku's pride and everything else. He gave it up. Also, Goku could win. It's when he was like telling him to not fuck it up or whatever.
Right.
You better not muck this up when I give this to you. Yeah.
Yeah, he gave him a straight up speech. It's when he like think that's when he kind of turned Ultra Instinct
That,
again and then fucked him up. I'm not sure.
that's when Goku became fully mastered Ultra Instinct.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't watched it since it came out, which was what
Well,
freaking 4 years ago.
as I said, I'm a huge Dragon Ball Super Dragon Ball Z guy, so
Oh, going back to Boa Hancock, she got a pet snake, or and pet sea snake, so you don't really mind snakes, do you, Hateful? You really don't.
nope, I do not.
Snakes are freaking awesome.
Now,
Hold
if
up.
she was like a spider chick, then no, I'm sorry. I have nothing wrong with the standard spiders I'd find in my house and whatnot. That's what it is. That is what it is. Like we have an understanding. They stay in their little domain. I stay in mine. If they enter my domain, that's an act of war, and I will respond in kind.
That
I
reminds
still have
me
a
of your TikTok video with Majin Gohan and Alcatraz with the flying spiders and whatnot.
Oh yeah. I was like, no. This is white people shit, but this ain't my type of white people shit. Fuck that. I am
I'm
the.
gonna
I
have
hear
to call
noise. I want to
like
go.
a couple minutes. I'll be back in here then, guys.
All right. It's pretty cool what you can do with the OPS. Like, one was to look at the stream. I got Paul Hancock, I got Viola from One Piece, and I got Robin pulled up. And I can just easily hide them as fast as I put them up. And we still got Makima, we got Diablo, because Diablo is my favorite character in all of anime. He just is. He's the reason why I started reading the manga as well, right?
Nice. I still don't read manga that much. Like I've read a little bit of Dragon Ball Super, but other than that, I just haven't read manga.
Yeah, I was skimming through as I posted them one video with the translations of Dragon Ball Super, and Zeno is an absolute gangster in those translations. He cusses about and stuff like that. It's kind of funny. But, we did follow him almost directly. The anime, like, they're almost identical. There's not much difference. There are, but not that much. But it's still
Right.
funny to see how much of a gangster Zeno is in the translation I've been reading.
Yeah, I only read the Dragon Ball Super manga up to just after the Goku Black arc.
Mm.
Well, the scene I was going for, people kept using that. Well, if Goku had a senzu bean, he could have stopped him.
I don't think so.
No.
Because, I mean,
well,
Zamasu
in the
became the universe, right?
Yeah, well, that's in the anime. In the manga itself, Goku literally says that if only I had a senzu bean, I could go out as a Saiyan one last time. Which means, like, he knows he's gonna die. You know what I mean? Like,
he could
he
give it
knows that with
another
a
try with superpower, yeah. Like with his full power, he could give it another try, but at the same time, yeah, I see what you mean.
What Goku was talking about is go down swinging rather than like just completely and utterly powered out because they had nothing left to give. But if with a senzu bean, they could power up to maximum one last time and go out swinging, which is the warrior's way. No warrior wants to go out, tired from battle, exhausted, and just kill. You know.
That is true. Did you watch
So
1,000 Year Old Blood arc yet?
no,
It's good. I
no.
liked it.
I'm gonna have to rewatch the ending of Bleach because it's been a while since I've watched Bleach. So I want to watch the ending of Bleach again, and actually fully understand where they are at that point for where that arc begins.
Yeah, I continued from the Fullbringer arc. That is the end of Bleach, the Fullbringer arc. When Ichigo stopped being a Soul Reaper and he can no longer see those what were they called? I'm brain farting really hard right now. The
I
beings
don't even
from
know.
Mundo, the demons. Why am I brain farting so hard? The one he exercises, right? With the sword. Because he lost the powers, he can't see him, right?
It's been a while since I've watched Bleach. As I said, I'm
Bleach.
I'm not that accustomed to Bleach's stuff.
I got Google, right? Bleach enemy names. No, that's not really. What enemy? I mean, U-Bug is the enemy, but basic enemies. Basic enemies. Could I use Leon up in here? I mean, it's right there on the Dong, like these ghost spirit things. Hollows! There we go! Hollows, that's what they kill, right? In Bleach. It's hollows.
Yeah.
And then they got the different listings. Like you got the hollows is a monstrous soul-eating spirit that results when a deceased soul is consumed by negative emotions or is forcibly converted by other hollows. All hollows have a mask attached to their faces and a hollow hole somewhere on their bodies. They also have a tendency to attack those who were close to them in their human lives, which they superficially have no recollection of. Hollows possess individual reishi and intensify through devouring any soul they come across. They are very much like creatures like in the Japanese tongue yokai or spirits. And then there's the iron cars and all that. And there's the Menos Grandes. Apparently it's called Menasu Curande in Spanish. The Great Hollow, which is the kanji translation.
Nice.
I do need to watch the the Hell arc, which has Leon's the favorite Ichigo form, right? With the skulls all over his body and stuff.
I like the Ichigo's final form. The all black long hair.
Final Gengetsu.
Is that what it
That's
was?
the
Was
attack.
the final
Ichigo's
form
final form during Aizen fight. I mean, the move he uses, it's Gengetsu Tensho. That's the move he absolutely uses, which is kind of like consuming his Soul Reaper powers and whacking somebody with it. And it's the form. Ichigo is finally able to achieve the final Ketsuga Tensho. So rather than using the Ketsuga Tensho as a move, he becomes Ketsuga Tensho. Far as I'm understanding, right?
Something like that, yeah. As I said, I really was never a huge Bleach fan. So like a lot of the stuff in Bleach, I don't know. I don't speak on a lot of it.
Yeah, and it's a common misconception that the big three is the anime. It's not. Big three is the manga sales, the overall sales of that fiction, right? That's the big three. And Goku or Dragon Ball itself is their grandfather.
Well, see, that's a way of looking at it, but the big three only ever referred to the actual sales.
Yeah.
It's never referred to anything other than that. So to say, like, without a doubt, Dragon Ball is the grandfather or the father of the big three is lackluster at best. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does make sense, and
It's
I understand why.
objectively makes absolute sense, but you know, there are
Right.
nitpicky things we can talk about overall in that, right? Which is the
And
point.
I think I even added to that the one day with Teddy, and I said that if Goku is the father of the big three, then Sailor Moon would be the mother of the big three.
And that makes complete sense with that concept, right?
Yeah, and then if you want to go even a step further, you can actually bring in a grandfather to that as well, which would be Astro Boy.
Yep. So technically, Father Goku or Dragon Ball, then we go Sailor Moon as the mother for the big three, and their grandfather is Astro Boy, basically.
Yeah. Now, who the grandmother is, I have absolutely no freaking idea. But it would make a lot of sense, though.
I need to pick up another lighter. Actually, I don't, because I got some matches right here. There we go. I made some coffee while you and Zora were talking. And he said he was gonna do something, but I brain-farted what it was, and he'll be back in like 5. Oh, kind of speaking of the devil, I guess. Yep, speaking of the devil, he's back.
What's up, buddies?
We were talking about Big Three, and technically Goku is their father, and Sailor Moon is their mother, and then Astro Boy is like their grandfather. But we have no clue who would be the grandmother in that sense. And it does depend how you look at it, right? But it's about the sales. That's the big three, right? The sales.
Yeah, it's the big three is based off of the amount of sales in that time period. So I guess, man, I don't fucking know. I just came into this too late. I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. The big three is undeniable. You can't just change the big three depending on your opinion. That's the big thing.
Exactly.
So if the big three is based off of a very specific thing, that anybody that says, "Oh, who are the new big three?" Well, you'd have to take into consideration the same thing that made the big three and add it to today's environment. You know what I mean?
That would require some researching.
Right. What are the top 3 selling manga right now in 2023?
Well, we can actually Google that. What are the top 3 selling manga in 20, not 23, but 2023? We ain't 300 years in the future. And there are no lists made of available right now, but there are top 10 best-selling manga of 22. But there are several shonen manga to keep an eye out in 2023. But this is Game Rant, which makes no sense in that sense. But here's a Book of Brilliance blog.
Well, what are the top 3 best-selling manga of 2022?
According to Game Rant, we opened this. 10 best-selling manga of 2022. Kaiji number 8 is at number 10 spot. Then we go Do Not Say Mystery is at the 9th spot. Shinsho Man at the 8th spot. We got Blue Lock at the spot 7. We got Kingdom at the spot 6. Then we got My Hero Academia at spot number 5. Then we got One Piece at spot number 4. And then we got Spy X Family at number 3. Then we got Tokyo Revengers at number 2. And then we got Jujutsu Kaisen at number 1. So the big 3 of 2022 with the manga sales, according to Game Rants, is Jujutsu Kaisen, Tokyo Revengers, and Spy X Family, with over 10 million copies sold.
Now, is there is there sales or anything attached to that, or is that just them stating their opinions?
Spy X Family, according to Game Rant, in 2022, I'm not sure when this was made. I need to check up on that, but Spy X Family, according to Game Rant, has 10,657,001 copies sold at the time they made this post. Tokyo Revengers at 11,048,067 copies sold, and then Jujutsu Kaisen at 12,282,260 copies sold.
I don't feel like that would be accurate, but if it is, then that's your new gen big 3.
I believe Spy Family. I don't know about Tokyo Revengers. I know it's big in Japan, but
it makes sense because it has uncensored versions as well.
Yeah, didn't it just
Tokyo
start a new
Revengers
season?
literally has an anime adaptation that's uncensored. But then again, that's no manga, right? But at the same time, this was made by Game Rant in 28 of 12, so December last year on the 28th day, right before New Year's Eve, the top 10 best-selling manga, and at that time, according to Game Rant right here, it was Spy X Family, Tokyo Revengers, and Jujutsu Kaisen, with plus 10 million copies sold. One Piece was only 300,000, less than 300,000 behind Spy X Family.
All right, but now I've been thinking about this. Is the big 3 like overall sales like across the entire planet, or is it just like you know what I mean? Like, is it just the manga? Is it manga and anime? Like, what is?
What is the definition of big 3 anime? University of Southern California, huh?
Yeah, those charts are based off of sales only in Japan.
What are the big 3 anime? Yeah, that's makes it an anime, right?
The big 3 were
Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece right here.
Yeah. Yeah, did it start did the big 3 start as how do I explain this? Did it start
the big 3 in Western
culture or the manga? Did it become the big 3 during the anime? Hang on, Ma. I have no idea. I can't tell the time at which that took place.
Well,
Well, the characteristic art style emerged in the 1960s. That's a long time ago, man.
Speed Racer, motherfucker.
Speed Racer. What is the definition of big three, huh? The big three is the most common term to refer to the most prominent, profitable, noteworthy, or controversial entities in a given sphere or industry. There's even
Oh,
big
okay.
three in tennis and football and everything. So when we talk about big three, it needs to be prominent, profitable, noteworthy slash controversial entity in any given sphere or industry.
Guys, I'm sorry. I gotta go. I keep having shit pop up.
Don't worry about it. It's nice to have you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Might be on later.
Definitely.
All right.
My phone's freezing. I can't leave. There we go.
Doink. Funny that noise that Discord makes. Do-do-do.
Right.
Might as well check up on some stuff, but yeah, it's like the definition should be the manga styles. You know this. What is the definition of big three? Has 4,602,000,000 results when you Google it in less than a second. It's been Googled a lot. And there's a lot of posts about it. There's what is the girls' big three? What are the big three men? Who are the big three in football? All kind of. Yeah. And the big three usually describes the three most prominent entities in any given grouping of subject or subject. And we can literally make that about any genre and whatnot, right? As long as we define this is the genre and this is what the big three we are looking for, right?
Yeah.
Google is your friend sometimes.
Hmm.
Not always, but sometimes.
Just sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
60% of the time.
Yeah, 2022 big three considering manga sales is Spy X Family, Tokyo Revengers, and Jujutsu Kaisen. According to information you can find right here, right? The Cameron. There are other ones too, but top 10 best-selling manga of all time is One Piece from Eiichiro Oda. We got Golgo 13, who wrote Takao Saito, whatever that is. Now, there we go. Open that as a link. Golgo 13, also known as Duke Toko, is an assassin. His age, birthplace, and other identity revealing information are unknown. He's a mystery. I've never heard of Golgo 13. But it has sold over 300 million copies, and here it states that all over time, whenever this was made, One Piece has sold 480 million, and Dragon Ball has sold 250 to 300 million. Then we got Naruto with 250 million, Detective Conan at 230, Blackjack Osamu Tezuka 176, Slam Dunk at 157 million. But once they released the Slam Dunk CGI 3D 2D animation mix, I think it was last year they released that movie. The sales really took off for like 50 million in Korea. Like they go insane, like South Koreans or something, like just started, like eating Slam Dunk the manga up. Apparently, Demon Slayer has 150 million copies sold, which makes sense. Demon Slayer has been very prominent. But again, we can't trust anything in the internet.
Well, you can trust, but only to a certain degree.
Indeed.
So, I mean, ever since the internet basically said that Naruto and Itachi were brothers, that kind of really just kind of broke the internet.
I mean, Gamerand seems to do a lot of these different posts about what is the best manga, what is the best anime. And we go back here and open the top 10 selling manga of 2022, right? And we look up related highest rated manga according to my anime list. So, well, the My Anime List is a very popular thing that a lot of people do use. And 20 highest rated manga according to My Anime List. But Yotsuba To. Yotsuba To follows the daily adventure of a young girl named Yotsuba who tries to learn more about the world around her. As a 5-year-old kid, Yotsuba is quirky and energetic. For her, the world is filled with mysteries, and every day she sets out to unravel them. Not only does the manga have an interesting story, but the characters and the artwork are also fabulous. Due to its incredible quality, Yotsuba To has been nominated for multiple awards. Oh, they animated this. March comes in like a lion. I believe they animated that. Then we got GTO. That also seems to be animated. I mean, it's pretty easy to tell when they use animated pictures rather than the raw art from the mangas and whatnot, right? There's a manga called Real. That's it. That's the whole name. Written by Takehiko Inoue. Real is a sports manga. I
Yeah,
bet
well,
there are.
there are so many anime, manga, and all that other stuff out there that you can never watch them all. It's literally impossible.
Yeah. We got the best harem anime of all time, made in fall 2022. We got Netflix has this for us. Kaguya-sama Love is War. Or was it Crunchyroll? I mean, Monogatari season 1. Yeah, makes sense. 20th Century Boys. Houseki no Kuni is begins realized in 2012. Kingdom is here at the number 11 spot. Vinland Saga is in here. Grand Blue, that's something I've been meaning to watch. And the Grand Blue Fantasy and the Grand Blue, you know? Because you get on that. Oyasumi Pun Pun. That's a weird name. Full Metal Alchemist is here. Slam Dunk is here. Monster
Full
is
Metal
here.
Alchemist is always to be on that list.
Yeah. Vagabond is here as well. One Piece at the number 3 spots. Then Steel Ball Run. Oh. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run is the 7th installment in the series. It has been very highly rated, it seems. Berserk at the number 1 spot. That is not surprising. Berserk is very widely known. We have a lot of stuff here to go over about.
Well, as I say, with the anime community, there is so much that's there. You'll never be able to watch it all in an entire lifetime. It's impossible. So, like, when it comes to topics and things to discuss, There's always going to be something to talk about.
Indeed. But it's really good to have the discussion, like what we're gonna talk about beforehand, and just like take notes that these are what we're gonna talk about, so you can refresh that before we would do another quote unquote podcast, right?
Right.
We have been live for 55 minutes. We still got Zoro, Broly, Makima solo leveling, which is not adapted yet. And they did change that with the solo leveling, so it's not gonna be about Sung Jin Woo, which kind of makes my pinky bet kind of scary. I'm just saying, like, it's not about the actual manga I read. No, it's not adapted about that. The anti-Japanese nonsense that Koreans do, right? Or any country can actually do anti-other country stuff, right? So that has had a big effect on the fact that the right to do the adaptation for the solo leveling has fallen into Japanese hands, and why would they want to post or adapt something that is anti-Japanese, right? I mean, me personally, I didn't
Um,
see that in it. Like, I mean, yeah, the Americans and Japanese came off as dicks. Like, they didn't. This Korean author didn't treat you any different than American. Why are you nitpicking that? That's just my thoughts. If you're nitpicking on the fact that it's anti-you, why don't you nitpick on the fact it's anti-American, huh? Because it
that is
is.
true.
Now, naturally, there is that one concept that the Japanese a-hole, he dies, right? Absolutely slaughtered, while the American, asshole just gets speed up by the MC and gets to live. So, like there are vast differences with the story, but at the same time, like we usually say on Anime TikTok or wherever we are, keep that same energy, right?
Yep.
Understandable, it's hard to do.
It really is. That's why I try to be unbiased with my takes and whatnot. If I scale a character one way, I'm scaling all of them the exact same freaking way. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm able to say that, yeah, I don't look at Goku as universal. That's fine. I also don't look at Naruto as planetary, nor Luffy planetary. Ichigo, I can't really speak on because I don't know all that well. Luffy and Naruto both may upscale because of the fact that I haven't watched Boruto, nor am I fully caught up on One Piece yet. But like at the same time, it's just like I just don't see these characters with these feats that everyone else claims. Like the whole Dragon Ball, Goku being universal because of Battle of the Gods. That's heavily based on interpretation, but everyone always leaves out certain context to prove their point. But if you're leaving out context, then you're not proving your point. You're actually dismissing it because you're excluding content or context that goes against it. You have to take in all of the context together. Same thing with what people say, oh, well, Naruto destroyed a moon. Well, one, it wasn't Naruto. Two, it wasn't a real moon. Three, it was half the size or a quarter the size of a real moon. And four, it was hollow. So how is that a moon?
And it's not a planet.
Right, right. And it's just like I personally don't get it. It makes no sense to me, but people love to try to use it and whatnot like that. And I'm just like it doesn't work that way. Like I'm sorry, it just really doesn't. Now, yeah, of course, like that's why people are like, well, I can scale Goku to boundless. I'm sure you can. I can scale Goku to planetary. That's it. If I really wanted to be a dick on TikTok, I could say Goku and everybody else in the Dragon Ball Z universe are planetary at best. Nobody is star level. Nobody is solar system level. Nobody is galaxy level. Nothing. Well, Okay, Infinite Zamasu would be universal because he fused with a universe, and Zeno would be universal because he destroyed a universe. But that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, it's like, show me someone destroying a star, a sun, a complete galaxy or solar system. You can't. So if you can't show it to me, they're not there. Like if you want to exclude context, I can do the same thing. But when I scale, I try to take in all context. And I had now again, I have to say this, no disrespect or hate towards the content creator on TikTok, but Kaiju, me and him have had a few back and forths. I can see where he's coming from on a few of his takes, but every once in a while he'll add some. Oh, this is Goku literally saying this, but no, that's not literally what Goku said. Goku says this, but you interpret it this way. That's your interpretation. That's not actually facts, and that's one of the biggest things that people aren't understanding. It's like the for Battle of the Gods, the whole Shockwave instance in the anime for Dragon Ball Super. The Shockwaves grew in power the further they got from the source. The source being the clash between Goku and Beerus. Everyone likes to say, "Oh well, it threatened the universe. That means it's universal." No, threatening a universe is not universal. Causing damage to the universe in and of itself would be universal. Now, oh god, somebody actually once tried to tell me, well, planets were being destroyed, so that's altering the universe. That therefore it's universal. So anybody who can destroy a planet is now universal. Saitama is now universal. Naruto is therefore universal now because he can destroy a planet, which in your terms alters the universe. Get out of here. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna play this like every once in a while. Yes, I can play the semantic games. You know I can. But
Technicalities
when
and
it comes down,
semantics are lovely.
right. But when it comes down to trying, like, if you're having a playful discussion, yes, semantics and technicalities are hilarious. But if you're actually trying to pinpoint someone's raw limit to their power, trying to throw out semantics, it doesn't work the same way. You know what I mean? Like my buddy Frost Nation, we became mutuals because he was arguing with somebody about um, Sasuke being able to beat Goku because Goku's afraid of needles. And I'm like, okay, no, that's
Afraid of
ridiculous.
what?
However, needles.
Oh yeah, that.
Right. And I just commented to Frost on his thing. I was like, well, in all fairness, technically Goku has been defeated by a small little needle mark. And he was like, when did that happen? I'm like, Goku versus Frost? Frost punctured him with a needle and beat him in the fight. And he goes, oh my God, I forgot about that.
That is
And
true,
he made,
technically.
yeah, he made a response video back to me, and it was a hilarious response video. And that's when I followed him, and then he followed me back just because, like, um, it's not always about who's right or who's wrong or who you agree with. It's about the mutual respect. I have the majority of my actual mutuals. We don't always agree, but like we don't have to agree to enjoy the conversations and the discussion. But he did bring up a point that he's like, I don't think Sakura has the actual physical strength to puncture Goku's skin if he's like on guard. And I was like, oh, 100% agree with that. Like Sakura does not have the physical strength, even with the whatever thing she got from Tsunade. I can't remember what it's called now. But anyways, it was just hilarious. But I've gone back and forth with a bunch of people, and then I love the people that are like, "Oh, you've been debunked." I'm like, just because someone voices their opinion against mine doesn't disprove my opinion. Like, I can honestly say, like, my opinion is nobody's above planetary Dragon Ball Super. Prove me wrong. Well, this guy said he was going to destroy the universe, but did he? No, he didn't. So how do you know he's telling the truth? You know, like you can't prove that theory wrong unless you can like if I said that Goku is only planetary and not higher, you'd have to actually show me undeniable proof that Goku is higher than planetary, i.e., destroying a sun or anything bigger than a planet. If you can't show me that undeniable proof, then you can't disprove the theory. Now, do I believe that theory? Fuck no.
Yeah, it's a good point. And on that topic, you know, the Lucifer Netflix show, right? I can, beyond a
But
shadow of a doubt, you know, actually show you the feed and the context which is in, because Lucifer himself created another universe for his own mother. Now, granted, he used the power given to him by his father and the power given to him by his father to his brother combined to do it with the sword within the live action show. But he still did it with the sword and, you know, the flaming sword of Azrael, I think it was, right? And he's split our world and opened a portal to another whole new universe, creating that for his own mother. He did that. It's shown in the live action, and he states that himself as well.
right, I would have to rewatch the scene before I can really speak on the feed. But if a tool or weapon is also used, then that feat itself might not be solely on the person doing the feat. Um, a good example of this is with the Angels from Dragon Ball Super. A lot of, like, I speculate a lot of their power comes from the staff, but that could just be a ruse to throw off other people like myself. You know what I mean? Because you never really see Whis or any of the Angels without their staffs. And anytime a major feat is produced by the Angels, the staff is directly involved.
It's probably connected to Zeno as well.
That's a very good possibility. Because like when Whis rounded time, she tapped the staff on the ground, which rewound time. When Whis does anything remotely significant feat wise, the staff is involved. So now, do we give those feats to Whis? We do right now because we don't know for certain whether it's the staff or not. But I question it. I can argue against it, which means it's not an absolute fact yet just because we're missing information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the whole Dragon Ball Z Broly. Well, he destroyed South Galaxy. How? Did he destroy it in one shot or was it piece by piece? If it's piece by piece, it's not a galaxy level feat. We don't know though. There's no information on how he destroyed it.
Yeah.
So
we have the information on Majin Buu, whether it's Kid Buu or Majin Buu or how we want to call that. He did it over the time, of course, of like what was few years, right? He went around, you know, different planets. Like he spent actual time. He didn't just snap his fingers and do it, right?
Right. Well, it depends on the translation you go by. One translation I saw said over time, but it's like, okay, well, what is time? Is it a day, an hour, a week, a month, a year, 1 second?
Decade?
Like, what is over time? But then it is stated that he left planets in ruin and went planet to planet. Even the actual visuals we get of the galaxy being destroyed, I bring into question. Anytime we see something get destroyed in Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, there's an explosion. But the galaxy that Buu destroyed that was in the flashback dissolved almost. There was no massive galaxy large explosion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I bring into question, how exactly did he destroy the galaxy? Now, when artists, writers, producers, and all this make this content, this fictional content for us, they never take scaling into account for, which I get. I understand that. So we do miss context when it comes to these feats. Like, but to say for a fact it's one way or another is impossible. We ourselves as viewers cannot. You know, and like I just watched a King Lion video the other day where somebody said something about you guys look at these characters as they're real. When it comes to scaling my way, yes, I look at them as real. Because if you add in author's intent or author's statements, then you're literally saying that these characters are fictional. And fictional characters, guess what? They don't scale anywhere because they're fictional.
Yeah, the concept of the scaling needs to be taken into account, and I do like the fact that you take the concept of that fictional character, making it a concept of reality and what they are able to do. Rather than scaling the
Right.
character, you scale the concept of the character. And it's a weird way to put it, I think. But that's the way I would do it. I would scale the concept, not the, you know, nonsense. But that's absolute nonsense as well. Scaling itself
Right.
is just goddamn nonsense.
Right. But the other thing is like I view them as real characters in real universe. That's why I scale them as legitly as I can. I don't take author statements or, outside of like I take the source material itself. If I'm scaling, for instance, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super Goku, I'm taking context from the or anime version. I'm taking context from the anime and anime only. I don't care about data books. I don't care about author statements. All that is post production. I care about what's right there and then. If you want to add in the data books and the author statements, you're literally saying that they're fictional characters, which means none of them ever surpass 2 dimensions because they're 2D characters.
Mm-hmm.
So Goku can never do 3D. And then I love when people, oh, well, there's a movie where Goku interacts with the audience. That makes him 5D. I'm like, that literally means he's not real. And he's not actually interacting with the audience because the interaction never changes. It's the same interaction every fucking time. Why? Because he's written to do that. He's a fictional character. If you want to view him as a fictional character, he's 2D and he can't destroy anything because he's fictional. He's made up. He's not real. But if you view them as real, and this goes with all sources of fiction, then you can scale them accordingly to how they would be real in their own verse. Which means Goku automatically starts off as a 3-dimensional character because his world to him is 3D. And Goku himself, like I love when people say, oh, he's 4 to 5D. Why? Goku himself has never affected any other dimension other than the 3 that he lives by. He's never affected time. He's never affected space realm. Majin or Super Buu. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Buhan. Buhan versus Vegito. You can say Buhan is 4D because Buhan actually had an ability that affected the space walls around him.
Yeah.
He was affecting the dimensional wall. So you can consider that a 4-dimensional piece. Infinite Zamasu affected both space and time. You can consider that 4 and 5D piece. But tell me one time where Goku has affected space itself and or time. You can't. Goku may have more power than Vegito, who stood up to a 4D being, but that doesn't make him 4D unless he can demonstrate the same ability.
Yeah, and with these definitions, they're easy to find in the Versus Wiki, right? But at the same time, all of that Versus Wiki nonsense, it's either 3 lower or 3 higher or somewhere between that, which is where they scaled it in 2. It's either 3 higher or 3 lower. It's somewhere around there. Like, it's a basis you can do with the Versus Wikis, but never take that into an actual fact, because, I mean, they have Sasuke and Naruto and Planetary, so... or Star Level or something like that.
Well, here's the funny thing about Versus Battle Wiki. Everybody loves taking it as like actual, like factual shenanigans. But when you break it down, Versus Battle Wiki was made by fans. It's not made by anyone with any real power. So yeah, some of what they say is 100% logical, makes a lot of sense and whatnot like that, but it's not rooted in any real science. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, it's just the light novels and web novels and manga and anime feeds that are listed there, basically crapped by fans from it and how they interpreted those feeds and whatever.
Right, but it's still a fan-based system. So like there is no real 100% certainty behind majority of it. It's just fan base. Now, as I said, some of it, from my understanding, is very logical. So like I'm not just saying dismiss it and say versus Battle Wiki is all false, but like when you're discussing certain scales and using their definitions and their logic, you're still using a fan source. You know what I mean? You're not using the source material of the information provided. Like, if it shows Goku actually destroy a universe or have a comparable feat with someone who has, I can no longer deny Goku being universal. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, let's say in a future arc, a villain comes out of universe, let's say 2. Now, this villain has already wiped out universe 2 in one shot. That's a proven fact. This character is universal. And he says, Goku, I'm going to destroy your universe as well. There's nothing you can do to stop me, and launches an attack. Goku then uses his own ki and stops that attack, just like he did with Vegeta when Vegeta was trying to destroy Earth back in the Saiyan Saga. That's a comparable feat. If Goku does the same thing to this other character now from Universe 2 and stops him from destroying the universe, that's a comparable feat to a universal character and a universal attack. I won't be able to say anything. Goku at that point in time would be guaranteed universal, bare minimum.
Yeah.
But a lot of anime and whatnot don't do that. And a lot of people that scale completely do comparable feats wrong. It's kind of like comparing the Flash to the Hulk, right? If Flash beats the Hulk, does that mean Flash automatically scales to where the Hulk scales to? And he gets credit for all of his feats? No. Because all of Hulk's feats are strength-based. And vice versa, if Hulk beats the Flash, Hulk can't get credit for any of Wally's speed feats because Hulk's feats are based on strength, Wally's are based on speed. They're not comparable.
There are some people who say that it doesn't matter if you have super speed or super strength, it's the same thing.
Yes and no. See, here's why I say it depends on the character. Okay, Hulk is an interesting character because the stronger he gets, yes, the faster he gets. So Hulk's speed is relative to strength, whereas Wally's speed is not relative to his strength. Wally utilizes his speed to hit harder, which makes it appear like his strength is increased, but his base strength never increases. If you put Wally on a bench, like give him the access to the Speed Force and put him on a bench and have him lift weights, yeah, he can already lift that weight really, really fast. But can he exceed his limit for the weight he can lift? No, he is still bound by his body's physical strength limits. Now, I could be wrong on that depending on how the Speed Force itself actually works. Because the Speed Force is a very, very, very unique and interesting ability, or not ability, but power source.
It does affect all your molecules from down to the core, which you can use it that way, which makes it even more interesting.
Right. Well, so in instance, let's use Quicksilver. Okay. So Quicksilver doesn't have access to the Speed Force, but is still able to move super fast. But his physical strength never changes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So
At
if you put Quicksilver, if you put Quicksilver on a bench press and tell him to bench his maximum weight that he can comfortably, let's say it's 200 pounds, right? He can probably bench that super fast if he uses his mutant ability of speed. But no matter how fast he goes, he would never be able to lift 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 500 pounds, so on and so forth. Whereas the Hulk, it's relative to, okay, so Hulk's base speed, let's say it's 50 miles an hour, right? The angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. The stronger he gets, the faster he can move. So his actual speed limit does increase, whereas Quicksilver's physical strength limit won't increase. Now, as I said, the Flash might be different due to the Speed Force. I'd have to actually get some actual comic book enthusiasts on here because I mean, the Flash does have what is dubbed the infinite mass punch, where he uses speed to punch with infinite force, which
And
would mean that
sketchy.
Wally or that the Flash's strength at that point in time would be therefore infinite.
But it's only
But
at
it's
that
not
point in time when the strike hits.
right.
It's not
But
all
it's
the
also
time,
like
which is,
right.
what we're driving at,
But
right?
it's also right, 100%. But that's what I was going to get to. It's like it's not the Flash's base strength. It's him using the Speed Force to acquire the speed necessary to hit something with infinite mass. So it's a punch based solely on speed, not strength. At least that's my understanding of it. I mean, you give me a Flash enthusiast, or get King Lion or something like that to verify that, and it might change, but that's my understanding of it. Wally's not hitting with actual physical strength. It's just the speed he's at when he hits you. You're getting hit with infinite mass. Whereas the Hulk doesn't need to move super fast to hit you with infinite freaking mass. The Hulk can do it with just getting angry enough. He's torn through dimensions. He's punched through time or space and time itself. Like the Hulk's strength, like Wally's speed or the Flash's speed, theoretically speaking, has no limit. Right? Well, the Hulk's strength has no limit. That would be a really, really interesting fight to actually see, especially if they're both at their peak. Now, the only problem I see with that fight is the Flash would have to keep moving. Because if the Hulk ever got a hold of the Flash,
He won't let go, and he doesn't have the strength to do it. And then it comes,
right,
beginning like it's bloodlusted, or they're actually just fighting, or is one of them being controlled, evil entity, nonsense, mumbo jumbo, and it just goes more and more in depth, right?
right. Well, yeah, right. And if I'm not mistaken, Deathstroke was able to shoot Wally or not Wally, but the Flash while Flash was at speed. Therefore, technically defeating the Flash because he shot him and stopped him from running. Does that mean Deathstroke is now as fast as the Flash? No, that's not a comparable feat. That's two different abilities being used at their maximum, damn near. But that doesn't mean that it's a comparable feat. A comparable feat is strength for strength. Like if Superman and Hulk went back and forth, blow for blow, punch for punch, locking arm strength together and are equals, then their strength would be comparable. That would be a comparable feat. So anything that Hulk could do strength-wise, Superman could do strength-wise. Anything that Superman can do strength-wise, Hulk can do strength-wise. They would be comparable. But if Superman beats Hulk not off of strength or comparable like that, but he uses all of his other abilities plus speed and flight, you can't really compare the two that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do actually.
So
it's weird.
Right. It's like when Flash raced Superman. Now there's never been any real conclusive winner to my knowledge on those races. I think there's been 3 of them. But Flash has always had a slight edge on Superman's speed. In one instance of this race, Superman was flying. That's cheating. If it's a foot race, it's a foot race. You don't fly during a foot race.
They did that in the TV shows as well.
Yeah, that's where
And
I remember
the
that
movie.
from. No, but like in Smallville, Flash beat Superman, but at the same point in time, that was still Superman young and training and whatnot, so that's understandable. But like Wally's speed, in theory, should be above Superman's speed. I always say Wally, but for some reason I just mean Flash in general. I say Wally because I believe he's the fastest Flash.
Wally is the fastest Flash, yeah. Wally West.
So like Superman's speed should not be comparable to Wally. I mean, they're relative, but they're not equal. So just because Superman can keep up with Wally at a certain aspect doesn't mean that Superman can do everything Wally can do, especially since Wally's power comes from a very, very specific power set. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because here's the funny thing is, when Wally's at super speeds, there's always that lightning aura around him from the Speed Force that's allowing him to move that fast. Whereas Superman can just fly at relatively equal speeds with no electricity around him at all. It's just his movement speed. So what allows Wally West to move backwards in time is the Speed Force itself. Superman cannot do that because he does not have the Speed Force. Even if Superman can move as fast as Wally does while Wally is going back in time, Superman would not go back in time. Unless, like, the Speed Force actually opens up a worm tunnel and Superman's right behind Wally and traveling with him. But Superman
Which is
alone,
possible, but Superman can
Oh, yeah.
fly around Earth and reverse back time for our Earth, which then affects the whole universe or some nonsense like that.
No, that feat's ridiculous. I don't use that feat because that feat's stupid. If he's gonna
It's pretty
reverse the
silly.
rotation of the Earth, that's not gonna rewind time. That's literally gonna fucking kill everybody on the planet. Like, don't be wrong, it looked really, really cool for the Christopher Reeves movie. It really did, and it was a really cool scene and whatnot. But in theory and in reality, that would have killed everybody on Earth. The Earth stopping its rotation would literally throw everybody in disarray. I'd go flying through the wall of my house, and be dead. Same with everybody else on the planet. Cars would go flying, planes would crash, trains would be derailed. The water on the planet that's held down by the gravitational rotation, tsunamis everywhere, continental shifts. Like, the entire planet would be altered beyond disbelief. Doesn't change to the fact that that scene was still really fucking cool.
It was. It is.
But, like, that's why a lot of, like, older feats are being dismissed nowadays because, like, they're just so unrealistic. Like, I prefer these somewhat realistic feats. For example, Dragon Ball having enough energy output to destroy a planet. That's believable. How do we destroy rocks for mining? We put energy into the rocks via explosives and destroy the rock wall, and that's how we mine. How do we hammer a nail into a board? We use our physical energy, our physical strength, and hammer the nail into the board. So if you had enough of it, i.e. Dragon Ball, you could destroy planets, mountains, all sorts of shit. But stopping the rotation of a planet, no.
There's a lot of weird feats, just like the one I brought up with the Lucifer TV show. You had the necklace from Amadil, and then you had the Lucifer's or the Angel of Death's sword, which is the Azrael's sword of flame or something, and you combine the two, which was both created by God in, DC universe, Lucifer's father and Amadil's father, right? And then he
Yes.
combined them, and then he just had this idea: why not I just slice here, open a portal to another, and create another universe for my mom? And then he, just did that with the flaming sword of Azrael, which is a combined power that was given to him and his brother, because he's the only one who can make the sword flame, but he still needs Amadil's necklace to make it ignite. He can't do it alone. And it's, items.
Right.
It's not just a regular power, but it may be completely different
Right.
in the comics, which is a good point to bring up, that we would need a comic expert up in here and like telling us, like,
Right. Well, okay, so for instance, the feat you're talking about with Lucifer, that's not a Lucifer exclusive feat.
Indeed.
So, like, he needed the sword, he needed the necklace, he needed Amadil. There were requirements. It's kind of like Goku acquiring Super Saiyan God.
Well, Amadil wasn't there. Like, Amadil had stopped or slowed time down because Linda was bleeding out, right? The therapist from so Lucifer, Linda was bleeding out and dying, and Mazikeen was the demon, was taking her to a hospital with the slow time, and Lucifer did that by himself, but he had the necklace from Amadil combined with the sword and became a flaming sword of Azrael, and then he just swung
Right,
it.
right. So it's basically Lucifer amped by items.
Yeah. Kind of like Gilgamesh.
Kind of like a whole Doctor. Yeah, well, kind of like a
or
Doctor Fate.
Sinbad. Oh, Dr. Fate.
Doctor Fate. Doctor Fate without the gear is just he's just a man. With the items, with the helm, the cloak, and the amulet, he's an unstoppable powerhouse, damn near.
Yeah. And
So
Son Constantine, without the magic incantations and whatnot, he's basically just a man.
Right, right. Well, I mean, it's a little bit different with Lucifer because even without the sword and necklace, Lucifer's still, powerful, obviously. But, there is that slight difference that, like, when you're looking at certain things like this, it's like whether the character is amped or not. And that's what really, like, you got to take into account when you're doing feats and whatnot. Like acquiring Super Saiyan God. Acquiring Super Saiyan God is not a Goku feat because it required 5 other Saiyans giving him their power. But mastering it, controlling it, and then pushing himself to even new higher heights with that power, that's all Goku. You know what I mean? So him pushing himself to new heights and then still being able to acquire that transformation later on, that kind of dismisses the whole ritual thing where it's like, okay, well, he didn't acquire the power on his own, but yet he still has it. It's his, So you can dismiss the whole ritual not being a Goku feat because, as I said, he mastered the form, he has control over the form, and he's pushed himself even higher than that form. So, you can dismiss it. Like, for instance, if Lucifer later on does the exact same feat, but without the sword and necklace, you can dismiss that earlier feat not being his own because he's shown that even without that stuff, he can still do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like if Wally West loses the Speed Force and yet still somehow is able to run at those speeds. You can dismiss the Speed Force being what's given him all of his power.
I mean, he still needs the mutant gene, right?
Well, mutant genes
no
in Marvel,
mutant,
not
metahuman's gene. Metahuman gene.
Metahuman, yeah.
And that's why.
Well, I mean, in theory, he still does. There is a animated series or I think it's a movie where he loses his power and he goes to Thomas Wayne as the Batman in this universe. I think is it Flashpoint?
It's one of them. It was
He actually
picked up in the TV show as well.
Yeah, well, he goes to Thomas Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he's in Wally West, or no, is it Wally West?
Barry
I can't remember which
Allen,
Flash
probably.
it was. I think it was Barry Allen. But he goes to this other universe that Reverse Flash made, where he doesn't have his powers. He still has his memories. So he goes to Batman, who is Thomas Wayne, Bruce's dad. Tells them all about everything, and Thomas Wayne helps him recreate the situation where he got access to the Speed Force. In which case, gives him his powers back. So he still has the meta gene inside of him for that specific power. It's just whether it's unlocked or
not. Yeah.
Kind of very similar to the, what was it, first or second X-Men movie? First X-Men movie. Where Magneto made a device to unlock every human's mutant gene. And everybody on the planet would have gotten mutant abilities. Because everybody technically in the Marvel, in the X-Men universe, to my knowledge, at least according to the movie, now comics probably completely different, but the movie made it seem like everybody had the ability to become a mutant. It's just whether that gene was unlocked or not. And the device Magneto made would have unlocked everyone's gene. So, very, very interesting, topics to discuss. But we would have to have someone that's familiar with Marvel and DC comics to actually chime in. My extent of Marvel and DC knowledge comes from the animated series, a handful of the TV shows, and the movies. Which, well, that's why I try really hard not to speak on things that I'm not too familiar with, because, like, well, one, I hate being wrong. I think everyone does.
I love being
But
wrong.
like,
I absolutely love being wrong, but I'm a fucking weirdo, so
I,
you know.
well, I like being proven wrong if in fact I am wrong,
That makes a lot
because
of sense.
as I said, the things I really do speak on are things that I really do believe. Like I believe I'm 100% right on the things I say. Unless, of course, like I've already stated with the comic book stuff, like I'm not that advanced, so like I could be wrong. I put that disclaimer out there. But the things that I do believe 100%, like if I am wrong and someone does prove me wrong, I'm grateful to that because now I can correct myself, and make adjustments to my theories or my opinions and whatnot like that going forward. But like so many people are like, oh, well, you were proven wrong. Like, no, you just stated your opinion. Like you haven't actually proven me wrong. You just showcased your opposing opinion and you're taking your opinion as fact. If I did the same thing, then I would be able to say that I've debunked you because my opinion supersedes your opinion. Like, how does that make any sense? You know?
General population increase with me more, so I'm right.
Well, it boils down to like the what's the best anime conversation or, crap like that. It's like, well, people's favorite animes differ from person to person. Sure, there's hundreds of thousands of people out there that have the same favorite anime. Look at a lot of the Goku stands. Their favorite anime is Dragon Ball. It always has been. It always will be.
Teddy.
Yeah. Like, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like me, Dragon Ball's in my top 5, guaranteed. Like it pushed me into anime. Naruto is probably going to be 6 on that list because again, like that's what helped me push into anime. But like my top 4 favorite will always be my top 4 because like they were not just what helped me get into anime, but also stories and characters that I absolutely love. And in fact, one of them I didn't even know was an anime until I was already into anime like 10, 15 years later. And I had to add that to my top 5 list because like I honestly didn't know it was anime. I thought Speed Racer was just an American cartoon. I had no freaking idea.
Yeah.
Then
Resident
someone
Evil is
told me
also
about
anime. It counts as anime.
Yeah. No,
Final
it
Fantasy
doesn't count
counts
as
as
anime.
anime.
It is no. Speed Racer is legitimately anime. The origin of Speed Racer and that entire storyline is Japanese, and it did start over there, and it didn't come to America until a few years later. Like, all of that is legit 100% Japanese. And it boggled my mind. I had no idea. Somebody said it to me a while ago, and I was like, hold up a second. Let me go look this up real quick. I looked it up, and I was like, well, God damn. Like, hold on a second here.
Learn something new every day, right?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Would you load? While we've been discussing this and we're listening to you, have been creating the 2 options that are the big 3 of new gen. And there's only like kind of in a way 2 options as it stands right now. Naturally, you need to do more research on the matter of fact, but it won't send this dang thingy into the thingy, so I can't put it on the stream yet. I got the other one on it. So we got Jujutsu Kaisen, Tokyo Revengers, and Spy X Family based on the manga sales, right? Then on the other hand, yep.
Real quick, I just wanted to point this out. Ready for this? Adapted into anime by Tatsunoko Productions. Its 52 episodes aired on Fuji TV from April 1967 to March 1968. That's Speed Racer.
I mean, in realistically speaking, in the 1960s, when the art style of anime became into 2D definition, and that's where it's been advancing to today. So it's one of the first animes out there, right? Based on the number of years.
Wow. Speed Racer aired or premiered on American television in the summer of 1967.
Kind of wondering why is my this working so slowly. It uploaded the other one like instantaneously, like click your fingers.
Okay. Okay, so this is why I was confused originally, though, doing a little bit more research into this. So, originally created in Japan by Tatsuo Yoshida with help from his two brothers in the 1960s. A distribution company in the US bought the show and hired Peter Fernandez to adapt it for American audiences.
Huh. Peter Hernandez?
Yep, Peter Fernandez.
Fernandez, not Hernandez. Fernandez. Yeah. I mean, it's something you have to take into account always. Like, we got the Moomins, that is a cartoon. Here in Finland and Nordic and Scandinavia, however you want to say that, or whatever you want to do with the, Scandinavia Nordic thing you want to get offended by, I don't care. Anyway, we got the Moomins, right? And it's being adapted into specifically here in Scandinavia / Nordic, to each of their own with the languages and whatnot, right? But it's still Moomin. Moomit. Yeah, there's a lot of, topical over there and nitpick and whatnot. Makes it really interesting. I can't get this work though. It's kind of annoying me right about now. I mean, I did do some research on like when was the manga first started to release for like Dragon Ball and Fist of the North Star, and it's like the 1980s roundabout 1983 and 1984, you know. And the anime adaptation comes a little bit later or sooner. It gets stuck on 2% of sending, so I can't put it up here for some reason or another. That is semi-annoying.
Huh. First animated company to receive documented releases in the region. Anime has since found success. Huh. Anime has since found success with a growing audience in the region, with Astro Boy often being noted as the first anime to receive widespread syndication, especially in the United States. During the 1990s, commonly referred to as the anime boom, is credited with much of anime's enduring relevance to popular culture outside of Japan.
Come on. Go in. I just realized why not just stick the USB into the laptop so I can just, go get the exit. Funny enough, it said podcast right there. Now we just wait. That's not the right file. DCIM camera. I think it's should be running by. Yeah, it's here. Once it loads. And that's the one with the Tokyo Revengers. And that's the one with Deku and Demon Slayer. So just click here, drag it over there, on the workshop. I mean the desktop, or workshop. And it popped up somewhere here. There it is. Okay. And then we go here into the studio again. And I think I delete that. Yeah. And then we add a new option. Add media. Big Gen. Big 3 new gen option 2. Go here in the folders. I believe it's that one. No,
Right.
That is not the one.
But that's why I love when people say something like, "Oh well, anime is for kids," and like anime's been around since the '60s, bro. The '60s.
Yeah, it's been around a while. I mean, we can date some animated cartoons and whatnot in the 1860s or something like that, you know?
So basically, like anime has been around in America, for that matter, for just America, for 60 years. That's ridiculous.
It's been a long time.
Oh, 100%. But I'm gonna have to hop off though. I gotta start getting food ready and whatnot. Right now, my dog's looking at me all antsy, so I'm pretty sure he wants to go OUT. Yeah, you're a good boy.
Yeah, definitely do that again next time. Have that isekai set up, so we first, actually have it already set up instead of, what we did this time around. But we know it works. Thanks for
Oh
joining.
yeah, it's a very very good and interesting trial run.
Yeah, I'm still gonna add the Big Gen option 2 into the stream at the very end, so people can make their own decisions based on whatever nonsense they want to do. And oh, that's the same one. Damn it. Delete. It was the other one. Stop again. We have Jujutsu Kaisen, Tokyo Revengers, and Spy X Family of the new gen based on the manga sales, and then we have the Fame, which is then Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, and Demon Slayer, which is the option 2. And this time I got the. No, I don't.
What was the one for the first three you said?
Based on manga sales, through Camerant and a few other news articles, we have Jujutsu Kaisen, Tokyo Revengers, and Spy X Family, right? And then we got Demon Slayer instead of Tokyo Revengers, and we got My Hero Academia instead of Spy X Family. But Jujutsu Kaisen is still in both, and it's the number 1. Like, it is the new gen.
Yeah, I would probably go with, if I had a choice, I'd probably go with the second one. Because, like, how do I say this? I don't look at it as just the sales of that year. Jujutsu Kaisen's been out for at least, what, 3 to 4 years now, give or take?
Pretty much, yeah.
And same with My Hero Academia and Hunter x Hunter. But then again, Hunter x Hunter is not a new anime, right? That's old. Right? So we
Yeah,
really can't really use Hunter x Hunter because that's not new gen. That's been around for at least 15 years, right?
that would be mid-gen. I think technically you could put it that way.
Right. So we can't consider Hunter x Hunter new gen. Um, Jujutsu Kaisen we definitely can because I think that's within the last 10 years. But like the anime and manga has to be new. Like that's what makes the whole new gen. It's kind of like saying, oh well, Dragon Ball Super is new. Isn't that up on that list? Like, no, Dragon Ball's been around since the fucking 80s, man. You know, it's kind of like if we put One Piece on the top new gen. You know what I mean? But it's not new gen. It's, again, just because it's still running and still making sales doesn't make it a new gen. So we would have to
Yep.
disqualify anime from that list. My Hero Academia, I can definitely see as a new gen. Same with Black Clover, and what's another big one coming out now? I mean, from what I've seen, I haven't watched it yet, but that spy one, that definitely looks like it's going to go places because I've been seeing nothing but good reviews from that. So
I mean, it's
what's
a
that?
lot of good animes out there. You know, like There's a lot of old one too. It's like XX Holic, and it's really interesting considering I like Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But I was just saying, if we're going to try to come up with like the legit new gen, then we would have to establish what is new gen. New generation, generally speaking, every 10 to 15 years. So the anime can't be old and it's got to be still prominent and still going. You know what I mean? Like My Hero Academia, I would definitely consider one of the big three new gen. It's still running, it's new, and I don't see it going away anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong with this though, cause doesn't let me put it up there. Maybe you can't put two videos at the same time. That's probably it. I guess I gotta do like one video to put it up there with it. But anyway, we shall stop the recording right here. Thanks for listening to our crazy rant about